Hello, Angela Meiritz-Reid here, Stampin' Up demonstrator based in Christchurch, New Zealand. Today I'm sharing with you how I created this handmade card for this week's Global Design Colour Challenge. The colours for the challenge this week are Tahitian Tide, Daffodil Delight and Parakeet Party. I've started with a basic white card base, and then I've got this top panel here which I've embossed with the timber embossing folder, and then there's another layer there just slightly bigger than this layer. I'll firstly emboss that there, so with this timber embossing folder. I thought it looked and worked really well with these leaves from the Season of Chic Stamp Set. So just bring in my Stampin' Up machine, pop that in and just run that through. It creates a lovely wood timber embossed effect, and you can use either side, both work really well and then I've just adhered that onto this piece here. It's about 2 millimeters larger. There is a written tutorial also on my blog, and the link for that will be in the description box. And then I just want to add some dimensionals onto the back of that, just to raise it up a little bit. And all the products I've used will also be listed at the bottom of this tutorial if you're wanting to know what I'd used or purchase it from my online store. I'm loving this Season of Chic stamp set and I've been using it a lot. That on there. Right, so that's done, and I'll set that aside for when we're ready for that. And next I'm going to stamp these. So I've got my foam mat, which works really well for the photopolymer stamps. Just bring in my chamois, just looking a bit shabby. So I'll need to clean these as I go. So I'll start with the lightest colour and add a good stamp down and clean that off. Put that out of the way too before I end up in that. And then the Parakeet Party. And lastly, the Tahitian Tide. They look stunning together, those colours. Nice and bright. Then I'm going to die cut those. I'll just bring in, so I've got the frame for that. What I'd like to do is just cut those apart. I find sometimes they can get a little bit dirty from my plates if I'm running it all through. So just pop that on there. nice and straight. Run that through. And so I'll just do that 3 times. If you want to make sure that you get it in the right spot, because sometimes it can look like that but it's not, as if you, it's really hard to see, but there's a tiny little hole at the bottom there. If you can get good light, and when you've popped that on and you can see the Daffodil Delight or whatever colour it is just at the bottom there, then you know that it's perfectly lined up, and you just have to hope that it stays in place when you run it through. So it just means that that's in the centre of there. And then what I've done is I've popped some of the baker's twine on the back of that, and this was a little tricky to decide where I wanted it to go. So I'll use glue dots, and this one here, I've got it coming out the top here and out the bottom here. On this side and the bottom down here. Just put the glue dots on there, and I've just got pieces of the twine, so I just sort of want a loop over there. What I might do is cut it up a bit more, so the loop, sometimes you just have, it does take a bit of fiddling to get exactly how you want it to look. I probably want it a bit wider, so I'll just pop another glue dot there and then pop that onto there. It will give me a bit better circle. Doesn't matter what it looks like behind, as long as you're happy with the front, and that look, I think that looks okay. And then I'll just cut this little bit in half, and I want one loop coming off the bottom here, and I just want that tail piece to be coming out through there, so I'll just pop that there and then just do that loop. Looks okay. I'll just trim that off, and then I want a loop at this top piece. I'll do the same thing, just I'll have that tail bit coming out, loop that round. Doesn't have to be exactly where I had it before. And then what I want to do is add some dimensionals onto the back of those. Just try and avoid the baker's twine so it doesn't get too lumpy and bumpy. And then I'll add it to the card front. So what I quite often do is line that up along the top there, and then bring a ruler in and roughly work out where I want it to go. So that's about 2 centimeters from there, so around about, I think the mat's inches, so about there. And then just bring this one in. And get it in the center, which is about here. So I usually sort of put my fingers and just make sure it's about right. So line that up again, line that up there. And then I can pop these on, so hopefully I've got about the same distance both sides. And this one that way. If you don't press down totally when you pop these on, you can lift them off if you want to change where you've popped them. I think that's okay. And then lastly, I'm going to create the sentiment. So I've got some black cardstock and I've got the sentiment birthday wishes, and this is from the Sending Wishes stamp set. No, sorry, Sending Smile stamp set. It's this one here. So it's got these lovely little sentiments here that go with the big one, but I've just taken it out of there. So I want to Versamark that. And pop some white powder on. I'll just heat emboss that, won't be a moment. That does have a die that goes with it, but actually I found this one, which is in the Give It a Whirl dies. I used it for that and ended up trimming it down, but because I didn't get it quite even. But I'll just try it again, see if I can get a little bit more even. I thought it's a really good size for these sort of sentiments, which I use a lot. Works well, and I have got it even this time, so I'm just going to pop that on with some dimensionals, just to use some little half ones here. And then I've used the iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. I thought they looked nice. I did contemplate using black, but I thought it was quite nice. It was nice and soft. So I just popped, let's roll that up a little bit. Just one, I'm going to pop two down here. And one up there, and that is it. There's my card. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you again next week. Bye for now.